gays and gals, I'm Chris, aka ChristopherJMUA, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be creating a look using the Blend Bunny Cosmetics, the Dollhouse Palette, and the Blends Palette. We're going to combine the two to create something. I don't really have a clear idea of what yet, but something. So if you'd like to see what kind of look comes out of these two palettes and what I can possibly come up with, then stay exactly where you are, because we're getting into it right now. I went ahead and popped off camera and primed my eyes with my P. Louise base in the shade Rumor 02. It's a little bit brighter, so maybe whatever I use can pop a little bit. And I think the more browny or like golden or pinky champagne tones are kind of calling my name. I think I might stick with some of those, maybe something like this, or this one, or this one, or this one. Since I used the lace last time, I want to try and stay away from it, and since I used Chantilly last time, I want to stay away from it. I was just gonna do something blue and a little teal, but then I'd be using a lot of the same tones I used already. By the way, in case you haven't seen them, I have reviewed both of these palettes already. I'll go ahead and leave one linked up here, but both will be in the description box down below, so you can check them out if you want to see the full review, all of the swatches and everything like that. Today I'm just gonna play with them, just have a little bit of fun. Oh, let me zoom you guys in. Now we're real close. Love that for you. So I think I'm gonna start by using this wide Morphe brush and going into the shade Mama Bear. Just look at how rich that is already. I love the Blend Bunny shadows. They're just so jam-packed with pigment. It's insane. Look at little Mama Bear looking so cute. That is a really pretty sort of like mahogany kind of color. Looks just like the table in my living room. We're gonna pop right over to the Dollhouse palette using the Morphe M456 brush and go into the shade Vintage. And I'm also gonna take just the tiniest bit of Pose right here. It's just a little bit lighter. Well, actually it's quite a bit lighter than Vintage, but I sort of wanna mix those two and come out with something in the middle. And this shade's gonna go right on the inner half of the crease. Well, my intention was really to lighten that. It didn't really get lighter. It just kind of got cool toned. Well, it definitely did not go as planned, but I'm not mad about it. It's still really soft and pretty in the front. Still need to do some blending on the outer edge, but they mixed really well together, and they gave me a very happy result, so I'll accept. Now using the super teeny tiny Morphe Bullet Blender brush, I'm gonna go into the shade Self Love. I'm gonna tap off a lot of the excess because there's a lot of pigment in this red, and I'm just gonna start blending out the outer edge of Mama Bear with the red. It's already looking really cool. Obviously, this is gonna be something that's more like, once it comes together, it will look okay. Because right now, it is for sure trust the process. I just hope that we can trust the process. Because I've got no plan. I don't know if it's gonna look good in the end or not. I'm just kind of randomly mixing and matching things. I used the tiniest bit of that red, and look how far it went. I mean, this brush was barely covered, and I was still able to carry it all the way around. I just love the Blend Bunny formula. Ugh. Now dipping into the Dollhouse again, I'm gonna use this little fluffy Profusion brush and the shade Porcelain here on top. And I'm gonna use Porcelain to blend out Self Love. Oops, this brush was way too big. Oh well, I'll just kinda do this first, pack on some of the shadow. There we go. Then I'll take it, start blending this way. The thing I want to avoid, or at least attempt to, is blending too much and turning this into pink. I just want it to fade from red to the porcelain shade. I don't want it to turn pink. To keep things really tight and precise, I'm gonna use this Royal Langnickel Moda Studio brush and the shade Silhouette from the Dollhouse palette. And I'm gonna start deepening. This is almost black, so it should get us pretty dark. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Now I'm just grabbing a little bit more of the Mama Bear shade and putting it right on the edges of this. Sort of just blending out the edges with it, just to make sure I haven't lost all of the brown completely or covered it up completely. This way, if I did cover it up, it'll at least make it look like I didn't. Oh, it's so vampy. It's giving me like dark cranberry juice kind of vibes. And last for the crease, gonna use this tiny teeny bullet blender brush from Morphe and the shade Nevermore with a little bit of depth. Combine those two, and that's gonna be the deepest tone in the crease. Now this one, I am gonna pull all the way from the outer portion of the crease to the inner portion of the crease. That way I've got some dimension in that crease line all the way around. Some of it's gonna be covered up with a shimmer anyway, so it it doesn't really matter. It's just me being OCD. Using the Morphe X Jeffree Star JS11 brush, I'm now gonna go into the shade Mannequin right there. And it looks so beautiful, so beautiful. Now before I plop it on, I'm not gonna cut the crease, really. I'm just gonna go in with the brush that had my base on it and just sort of add a little bit back. Now before I plop that shade down, I've gone ahead and taken a little bit more base on my brush. And I'm not gonna fully cut the crease, but I am gonna go ahead and add just a little bit of base back so it can be A, tacky, and also B, sort of blend out the creasing that has already started to happen just from the base drying. Okay, got that cleaned up. Now, moment of truth. Bloop. Oh, that's pretty. It's not the shade I really thought it was. I mean, I guess it is. It looks like a rusty bronze in the pan, kinda. And I suppose it looks like that on the eye as well. Oh, look at how easily that sticks down and how metallic it is just with a little bit of a tacky base. No glitter glue, no nothing like that. Okay, we've got Mannequin down. Sounds like a really cool band name. Hey, did you guys go see Mannequin Down last week? No, I didn't see Mannequin Down, but I saw Marionette. Tee-hee. No, but that's the shade I'm gonna use next. And it's gonna be the outer corner lid color, hopefully. Let's see how she works. Yes, ma'am. Show me what you got, Marionette. Oh, wow. Because those shades are so close in tone, you can't really tell that they're super different when they're on the eye, but it almost makes it look like it's a duochrome. That's so neat. Now I've just gotta go back in with the little bullet blender brush, go around some of these edges on the top to make sure the shimmer didn't go too high for my preferences. I'm gonna grab the little wide brush again, the flat one that we used in Silhouette. And I don't think I'm gonna add any more because this is already really deep, and I'm just gonna take Silhouette from the outer corner of my lid and sort of fill in the outer V. This is really just so the crease and the lid transition into one another, so I don't have that weird shimmer cut right here. It's more like a pet peeve, let me fix it for myself sort of thing. It's not really because it does much of anything for the eye. Unless you have hooded eyes, then this is the essential step at the end of every look you should be doing to make your hood look like it's gone. Because why do we have hooded lids? What makes it appear like we have hooded lids? It's the shadow that happens right here. And if you just fill it up with dark shadow, you can't tell there's a cut there. You can't tell there's a hood, because there's no shadow being made. And alas, there we are with the eye. I've got to do a brow bone highlight and an inner corner highlight, but that's gonna be done once I come back. So I'm gonna go ahead and go off camera, finish the other eye, and try to duplicate this onto this eye. I don't even know if I remember which brushes went into which shadows for sure, but I'm gonna attempt to do that. And once I do and I get all my face makeup done, we'll come back, finish off the lower lash line, the inner corner highlight, and the brow bone highlight. So I'll see you guys in just a second. I think my camera just stopped recording all of a sudden. I don't know for sure if it did, but in case you didn't hear, I'm going in with the Doll 10 Transition Transformer brush and the shade Display to smoke out the red on the lower lash line. But I could have sworn it was recording when I said that the last time. It looked like it was, but then it just crapped out and wasn't recording anything. So I don't know what happened. Hopefully it's recording now. If it's not recording, let me know in the comments. You know, I really didn't think that shade was gonna show up as much of a purple as it did, but I'm kind of glad it did. I kind of like what that did to the whole thing. It sort of brought it in a different direction. But now I'm gonna try to pull it back into the right direction. I'm gonna use the same pointed Morphe blender brush that I used earlier with the darkest shade in the crease, and I'm gonna start with not adding any more pigment to the brush just in case and try to just pull some over. I might end up having to anyway. Let's see. I just want to pull it out to the outer half, or I mean outer third really probably. Hey, 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 I think it's dark enough. Oh yeah, that is definitely dark enough. But guess what? I'm still adding more. So if you'll remember, that was a mix of Nevermore and Depth. I'm gonna take just a little bit of depth on the brush, since it's the lighter of the two, and just kind of compress that into this little crack of my eye. Usually when my eye starts watering, that's the first place that breaks up, so I like to just pack a ton of shadow in there. There we go. I really should have been looking in the mirror while I was doing that. What's done is done. Okay, and now taking just the tiniest bit of Nevermore. Have you guys ever seen The Page Master? That is so good. With horror, fantasy, and adventure. And little Macaulay Culkin, back when he was little Macaulay Culkin. God, that movie used to make me want to go on adventures all the time. Like I ever went on any anyway. So that's looking pretty good. I'm gonna take the display shade again though, and the Dalton Transition Transformer brush, and just sort of finesse this edge, because it's a little choppy. It's a little rough looking. Much better. So much better. It's got the definition and the depth there, like the darkness should add, but it didn't take away from the look overall. So I'm happy with that. Now I've been sitting here the entire time I was doing my face makeup trying to think of what shade I was gonna use for the inner corner and the brow bone, because lace is the one that I'm drawn to because it's the lightest, it's the brightest, it's the most perfect, and I decided that you can't mess with perfection, you might as well use it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use lace again as my brow bone highlight and my inner corner highlight, just like I did the last look I made. I just can't help it, it's too pretty, okay? Do you see what I mean? You just can't go wrong with perfection. If it works, it just works. And that shade just works. Oh my gosh. I mean, just look at that. Phenomenal. Okay guys, so give me like 2 seconds. I'm gonna pop off camera, throw on my lower lash mascara and something on my lips. I don't know what yet, but something. And I'll be right back. And now here we are with the, Leaf, your jingle was at the perfectly wrong time. You jingled during my outro. That was very rude. So here is the finished look using the Blend Bunny Cosmetics, the Blends palette, and the Dollhouse palette. You can see I threw on a very complicated lip. So you guys ready for this? I mean, I used a ton on the lips. I used the ColourPop So Juicy Plumping Lip Gloss in the shade Cutie. And that was all. Leaf wanted to come tell you guys that he loved the gloss. He says the gloss smells and tastes amazing and he loves it. And he wanted to give his final thoughts on the Blend Bunny Cosmetics palettes. He says he approves. I just translated his tonguing. That's what he meant. Isn't that right, Leaf? Did you mean that the Blend Bunny Cosmetics palettes are wonderful? So now that we know what Leaf thinks, I want to know what you guys think. Do you like the look that we were able to get out of the palettes combined? Do you prefer the palettes by themselves without being combined? I think it's pretty neat that you can work with them together and kind of zhuzh up the look a little bit with a pop of pigment if you so choose. I really wish I had the Surge palette, the second in the series. That way I could get those really, really deep, rich, colorful tones in on the look, but that's okay because this still ended up really beautiful. There are still plenty of rich tones to reach for in the Dollhouse palette on those bottom 2 rows, or bottom row? No, bottom 2 rows. So there's still definitely range. I just want it all, you know? So let me know your thoughts, your opinions, your questions, concerns down in the comments. You guys know that I'm always hanging out down there with you, just chilling with my homies. I should probably never say that again. That doesn't sound cool. Doesn't sound hip. Sounds like I'm old. Oh wait. Also, if you like this look and you want to see more looks like them, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and TikTok. My username is the same for everything. It's just ChristopherJMUA. And if you gain nothing out of this video, if you gain nothing out of any of my videos, then please at least gain this. And that is to always remember and never forget that you are absolutely beautiful. And we love you guys. Bye! Say bye, Leaf. Bye! Are you not in the mood? He's not in the mood.